Hi, this is Nabil Asif from Qlik Australia. In this demonstration, I'll show how Qlik can help deliver location-based insights. The Qlik Sense app that I will be using for this demo makes use of Qlik GeoAnalytics, a solution that brings advanced geospatial capabilities to our visual analytics platform. This app brings together a few different open datasets available from the Victorian State Government. The main one is the Road Crash Statistics database, which gives us details into road accidents across Victoria. What we're seeing here is a map of local government areas, with the color indicating the number of accidents. I'm interested in the latest 5 years of data, so let me go ahead and select that. We're now looking at a high-level view of almost 63,000 accidents across Victoria. If I zoom into Melbourne, I can see that it's colored in red, because it has the highest number of accidents. If I now select Melbourne, my view changes automatically to show me hotspots of accidents within this LGA. As I zoom in, a more granular set of hotspots shows up, and if I zoom in enough, I can start to see individual accidents. If I hover over each accident, I get useful information about what happened in the incident. So what we've seen is a very intelligent and intuitive way of exploring this large dataset by making different layers of information become visible based on the context. But what I'm really interested in is looking at accidents across Melbourne, the suburb, not the LGA. This wasn't possible in the original dataset because it only gave me information by LGA. But with Qlik's great capabilities in bringing data together, this is not a problem. I have added suburbs in my app, and I can see that these suburbs in white are the ones that fall within this LGA. I also have an area layer available here, which I can use to show suburbs on the map. I'm going to turn off the LGA layer and turn on the suburbs layer. With GeoAnalytics, you can set up different layers to show up based on the context, or leave it up to the user to select what they're interested in at the moment. I can now see that the suburb of Melbourne has the highest number of accidents by far in this LGA. Let's select Melbourne and do a bit of exploration. Now within Melbourne, there is a clear set of accident hotspots that draws my attention. If I zoom in, I can see that this is the central business district of Melbourne. Let's select these hotspots to carry on our analysis. Now my first question is to find out what kind of vehicles have been involved in these accidents. The bar chart on the right here can help me answer my question. Right now, this chart is just showing me the accidents by air, but I can easily switch this dimension to the vehicle type. Now, what's interesting to me here is that bicycles are very close second to cars in the accidents in these hotspots. Let's select bicycles and go back to our map. Each of these accidents we see on our map involved a bicycle. Often with Qlik, as you ask questions, you'll find different sheets and visualizations that help you follow your line of inquiry. My next question is to understand the types of accidents happening here a bit better. I can use the global search here to look for a visualization that shows me accidents by type. The second chart looks like what I want, so let's take a closer look at that. We've now jumped to another sheet in this app, and this chart is showing me accidents by type. I can see from the selections bar that this is still in the context of my analysis. We can see that most of these accidents involved bicycles crashing with another vehicle. But the insight I found interesting was on this scatter plot here. It shows that a large number of these accidents involved bicycles colliding with the doors of parked or stationary vehicles. Let's focus our analysis on such accidents and jump back to our map. So each of these accidents that I see now happened in the last 5 years in the Melbourne CBD and involved a bicycle crashing into the door of a parked vehicle. I know that in this area, the bicycle lane is right next to the parking lane. And in a busy area, this is resulting in a large number of such accidents. There were 70 such accidents within my current selections. Across all the areas of data in my app, there are 180 such accidents. And from here I can start to ask new questions. For example, I can see that while none of these accidents were fatal, by looking at what's grayed out, I can tell that all of these accidents resulted in some kind of injury. So through this analysis, we've seen how Qlik made it possible to intuitively ask questions of this geospatial data, carry across that analysis to the non-geospatial aspects of the data, and let our curiosity lead us to an insight that has real-world implications. I'll clear up these selections and now go to another sheet in this app. Once I explored the original dataset, I realized I wanted to see accidents along major roads in Victoria. This could be done with just the background maps, but I wanted an interactive layer. And that's what you're seeing here. This road network has been loaded into this app directly from a public Esri server hosted by the Department of Environment, Land, Water and Planning. Qlik GeoAnalytics can ingest spatial data in various formats, from local files and databases, as well as from public or even secure web services. So now that I have this layer, I can ask new types of questions. For example, I want to see accidents along the Great Ocean Road. I can select that directly from this map and see the total number of accidents. I can turn on this layer and see where the accident hotspots are along the road. I could be interested in specific road users, for example motorcyclists. By making a selection, the hotspots are updated and I can see that this is a particular set of bends along the Great Ocean Road which have had the highest number of motorcycle accidents. So by bringing in a new dataset and linking it with our data model, we have enriched this app and made it possible to do even more interesting analysis. For my final example, I want to give you a sense of the power under the hood that comes with Qlik GeoAnalytics. I wanted to look at road safety cameras in relation to accident hotspots. I did manage to find this data available publicly from the Cameras Save Lives website, but this dataset was available only as text descriptions of the camera locations. So what you see in this camera's description is exactly how I found the data. But with Qlik's outstanding ETL capabilities, I was able to clean up this data and then use a REST API to geocode that description so that I can now plot this camera on a map. Let's see what happens when I select the camera. We've zoomed into the camera's location and we can see that it is indeed at the intersection of Raglan Parade and Mahoney's Road in Warrnambool. So we've turned this description into coordinates. What you might also have noticed is as I selected the camera, it has also selected nearby accidents. This is made possible by two things. First, this yellow area is a travel area around the camera. This has been calculated by Qlik GeoAnalytics and respects the roads and speed limits in this area. In this case, I thought an area showing a 5-minute drive time by car would be most interesting. Now once I had this area, I then used GeoAnalytics to find out which of these accidents fall within that area. And that established a link between the road safety camera and nearby accidents. And of course, in Qlik, once you have an association, it applies to all of your data in the app. So for example, I can see that these are the two suburbs that are in range of this camera. I can now select these suburbs, remove my selection on the camera, and see that there is a clear set of accident hotspots a bit further from this camera. So if I have this view available to me, and I was deciding on where a road safety camera would be most effective, this would be an interesting location to consider. This example shows how Qlik goes beyond visualizing spatial data, makes it possible to establish new associations in your data to enable deeper and more valuable insights. So in summary, I showed how Qlik makes it intuitive for anyone to explore geospatial data and then ask questions that span across multiple datasets. By enriching apps with different types of spatial data and using geoanalytics operations to establish new associations within disparate datasets, we can enable you to discover real value from location-based data. Thanks for watching, and do reach out to your Qlik office if this video has raised your interest in the value we can offer to your business.